Hey, what's up, guys? BSGT2 Trek Fan 88 here, and it's with a rather upsetting heart here, or sad heart, or whatever, that I have to give you guys some information that you may have not heard about because the media at whole is not talking about it. But famed composer James Horner, who's notably done a lot of stuff, but Titanic, Avatar, Braveheart, Apollo 13, and many more films, over 100 or so, has died. He crashed his private aircraft earlier this evening, and they're confirming that it was indeed him. They didn't know who it was at first. The body obviously was so badly injured, damaged, however you want to put it, that they couldn't identify him for a while. And a lot of people speculated that it's either him or a pilot that he has that flies the vehicle, maintenance, etc. And it's him. This is pretty upsetting, especially to me. As many of you know, I talk about I talk about it all the time. That I'm a huge soundtrack enthusiast. If I was able to bring up my iTunes playlist and show it to you, which I can't do because I don't have screen capture software, but if I was able to do that for you, you would see that I have literally every single piece that James Horner has done within reason. And I grew up with his music, and I'm not ashamed to admit that a lot of kids when they were growing up, middle school, early high school, would be listening to the newest band or group or rap artist. I was rocking John Williams. I was rocking James Horner. I was rocking I can't think right now Howard Shore. I was a whole bunch of soundtrack composers. And James Horner was actually the very first one that I remember, and that's honestly because of movies like Braveheart, Apollo 13, Titanic. I was a huge, still am a kid. I play that music all the time. My favorite piece from him is probably, or my favorite album from him, to be honest with you, is probably um, from Bicentennial Man, the last track on the soundtrack. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Look it up on YouTube. Give it a listen. I've listened to that track when feeling pretty down. I'm the kind of guy where, depending on my mood, I'll put on certain music that matches it, and that's one. And unfortunately, sad things, but that score is also very uplifting too. Glory, he also. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and list off everything he does or did, but he is one of the more notable film composers of our time, especially with films again like Braveheart, like Glory, like Titanic, Avatar. He's known for scoring big budget films. He's also worked with James Cameron a lot. He worked with James Cameron on Aliens. He worked with him on Titanic. He worked with him on Avatar. Um, Ghost of the Abyss, I think he helped out on a little bit. Kind of like how Steven Spielberg sticks with John Williams all the time. So I'm sure I'll be seeing something from James Cameron, like a statement. But this sucks. Being a film track soundtrack movie buff, music enthusiast. I was actually really, really. I mean, I don't want anybody to die, but I was really hoping it wasn't him. I was looking forward to see what he would do with the Avatar sequels, and we were really hoping. I'm part of a Facebook group called the Extended Titanic Soundtrack because Titanic's soundtrack has two albums consisting of a lot of music from the film, but not everything. There's a couple motifs, couple bits that we really wish we could extrapolate more, but we can only take so much sound effects out of the DVD and Blu-ray releases. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Not necessarily true, but this is pretty sad. I figured I'd make a quick video. If you go to Wikipedia while listening to the song I told you to listen to, and there'll be a link down in the comments below. If you go to Wikipedia and you look at the stuff that he's done, you realize, especially movies when you're a kid, like holy crap, like Fievel, The American Tail. There's a whole bunch of stuff that he's done. You're like, oh yeah, he did that. He's left his mark. This man has left his mark on the soundtrack history, if you will. There is a lot of movies that he has done or worked on or been part of that have gone on to become memorable and will live on forever. And I'm glad that he has been recognized because he's such a great composer. Was such a great composer. So this is pretty upsetting news. I'm probably going to put on some of his music tonight, and I'll definitely make a playlist for tomorrow while at work. But yeah, this, it's not like I'm going to go sit and cry about it. I mean, I didn't know the guy. To be blunt with you, but You know, it's like when Robin Williams died. It passed away. It's like when James Gandolfini passed away. It's like it sucks. You know, this year and last year, it seems like recently more and more people are passing away or dying that I don't know, but know of. But this one hits home. This one hits close to home, given how much of a soundtrack enthusiast I am. And I really do mean that. It sounds really cheesy. I don't have a lot of videos on it, and I planned on doing a composer's video, like my thoughts on them, my favorite movies from them. Maybe I'll get to work on that sooner than later. Maybe I'll pick him as the first one that I talk about. But I really did have on CD when I was a kid. Like I would go to the CD to Barnes and Noble or Borders or Walmart. I remember I bought Titanic's soundtrack at Circuit City when it came out, and I would used to sit there and, again, I'm a kid, record my own voice over the music and like an actor's lines or whatever, or I would try and sync the music to the movie, especially if it was like a rip from the movie, which a lot of soundtracks are nowadays. A lot of people don't realize that, by the way. Back in the day, they used to release a soundtrack, but it wouldn't be the actual film's recording. It would be like a redone recording for release. And obviously, soundtracks got more and more popular, and they started releasing the actual audio from the film. But I would sit there and I would try and sync it, like the Titanic syncing the piano portrait when that second album came out, which is my favorite piece of that movie. I'll be putting a few pieces of his in the comments below. But like I said, this is a pretty big blow, and I think the movie community or soundtrack enthusiast community will be coming out in droves, and talking about him with better vocabulary than what I have, because I suck at this. From when I've done videos before, I point blank say, look, I don't have the best vocabulary. I can't form these amazing paragraphs. If I sit down and write something, maybe, but talking to you, this is just off the cuff here, so. It sucks. But James Horner will be missed, and but not forgotten. Definitely not forgotten. He will be remembered. All right. Have a good night, guys. See ya.